You're listening to Hotep Ish with your host, D.W.A. Intelligent Ish Talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
Now tuned in to that Hotep Ish, bring you food for thought. No miss the first dish from the #1 host, D.W.A. Got enough games and jokes that can last about a couple more eons. Vibes on the million, you heard right. Debunking niggas' opinions on music, that shit light. Work being done without breaking a sweat. This that intelligent ish, you need not forget. D.W.A. don't debate with whole niggas. They use I feel as receipts to show niggas. Fat stand tall on opinions. Jokes to emotional haters and their minions. Need to burn one popcorn, get a drink. The Jews in the history is always in sync. Show for the real genie catching a wish. Cause you're now tuned in to that Hotep Ish. I know you enjoy.
What up, motherfuckers? Let me turn this down. Yeah. Turn the echo cancellation on. There we go. Can y'all hear me? Let's see. I hear double talk. Let me change this. What about now? Okay. Can y'all hear me good? No double talk? Yes, sir. Shouts out to Rashad Givens for that mix right there, for that rhyme. I appreciate that. I sound good? No double talk? Yeah, that last interview I had with Dr. Randy Short, the audio was trash. It was a great interview. I'm glad he did most of the talking because my audio wasn't shit. I had to uninstall and reinstall and do all kind of crazy shit to get my mic system back working. One thing I hate is bad audio. One thing I cannot stand is bad audio. I don't like when people chew and be eating in a fucking microphone, sounding like goddamn camels and giraffes and shit in a nature program. I hate that. Oh, Lord, I can't stand that. I can't stand when people scream into the mic. Yeah! We had one of them guests on Craig Facts a couple months ago that was just screaming and loud all in the mic. I do my best to respect you guys' ears, so I invest in my audio. I don't want no double talk. I don't want no loud, pitchy sounds. I want this shit to sound smooth when y'all in y'all car driving to work. And for my truck drivers out there getting it in. Afternoon, everybody. What's up, Bad Seed? What's up, Breeze? Evan? Emmanuel, what up, y'all? What's up, Quan? ACD? Thank y'all for joining me. Brooklyn Winter Flower, thank you. B1. Yeah, we out here. We about to, we gonna honor Ice Cube today because they always say when you don't honor your heroes, you don't get any more heroes. What's up, Dwayne Bowser from Philly? Sal 319, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Yeah, that loud chick from that show. My God, I can't stand when people scream in the mic and yell in the mic and do all kind of dumb shit. But they say when you don't honor your heroes, you don't get any more heroes. And I'm not here to put Ice Cube on God's status. I'm not here to say he's infallible. I'm not here to say he's perfect. I'm not here to say he won't fuck up in the future. Hey, we all humans. You never know. You see what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is, what he doing now. Kareem was down with black folks for like 50 years. But in these last 4-5 years, I don't know what the fuck Kareem been on. I think maybe because Kareem, he screwed off, his accountant screwed off a lot of his money back in the 80s. I'm over here dropping shit. I don't know. His money a little tight, so he's having to, speak up for them folks. But so I'm not here to say Ice Cube is going to be perfect through perpetuity. But I am here saying that from 1986 through now, he's done right by Black America. Even during the times when he did things that on the surface level seemed controversial. He's always done, so far, he's done right by Black America. And we have to honor that. We have to recognize those who have. Paul Robeson, Jim Brown. A lot of people got mad at Jim Brown for talking to Trump back in 2016, but Jim Brown was still, as old as he is, mentally ahead of the masses. It wasn't about talking to Trump. It was about whoever the president is. You speak to them to get them to allocate resources to your political agenda. And that's what Jim Brown was doing. People got mad at first, but then once they recognized what he did, no one ever went back to apologize and thank Jim Brown for what he did. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is when it comes to us. We've had, Stevie Wonder has had a career of nothing but using his microphone to speak up for the best of us. Go back and download Mixcloud and listen to my Mixcloud episode honoring James Brown, and how when James Brown, at the top of his career, at the top of his success, he didn't back down on his blackness. He doubled down on his blackness. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Talking loud ain't saying nothing. I got a bag of my own. Put up the factory and own the job. People, we got to get over before we go under. Michael Jackson. It seems like the more bright and yellow his skin got, the more black and militant his music got. I'm going to do a breakdown on Michael Jackson pretty soon over on Incense and Ashtrays. Breaking down the later parts of his career and the music. Speaking up for us. Doing for us. When it comes to black American music, when it comes to soul music, the tradition in soul music is to use your platform, use your microphone to speak to the greater good of black society. Billie Holiday did it when she sang Strange Fruit. The greatest drummer of the bebop of jazz era, Max Roach. A lot of people don't know who Max Roach is now. But Max Roach was the drummer of drummers during the 40s, during the 50s and the 60s. And he always brought attention back to black America. Dizzy Gillespie, Marvin Gaye, at the height of his career. People don't understand, Marvin Gaye sued Motown Records to become more politically involved. That is the tradition of foundational black American music. Aretha Franklin always had secretly put money behind a lot of black causes, and out open in front used her microphone to speak up for what black people are going through and have gone through. John Singleton, filmmaking. Melvin Van Peebles, Mario Van Peebles. We've had a lot of great artists. Let me get my preaching music on. Y'all hear that? Yeah, I'm talking my shit, so I gotta get that music right. Let me turn it down. There we go. Y'all know me, I'm a musician. I gotta get that music right. When I'm talking. But we've had a lot of greatness. But unfortunately, as a people, we spend little time recognizing that greatness, honoring that greatness, appreciating that greatness. Ice Cube falls in line with the soul singers of our past. Ice Cube is someone who, from day one, going back to when he wrote Fuck the Police, from his first hit through now, he's always used his art to preach a bigger message to black America. Ice Cube's never, no matter how big he's gotten, he's never crossed over to try to appease them folks. Back in the mid-90s, we all know, well, we all don't know what happened. Well, both regular listeners to this show know what happened. We know after 1993, the people with the small hats got together to take the militancy out of hip hop, like they had successfully done 15 years prior in 1978 with the white paper report. People always ask me, why do I always reference this? Because we got to remember this, people. Everything in life has a cause and effect relationship. There's a cause and an effect to everything. And you cannot talk about the effects of things without properly talking about the cause of things. The small-minded, small-brained people out there say, you're just making excuses. No, I don't care what the reason is. Black people shouldn't be that way. I don't care what happened. It's always these old I don't care ass niggas. No, you don't care to think, nigga. That's all that is. This is tell the truth. You don't care to use your brain. Matter of fact, you don't even care to recognize that you have a brain. Niggas like that just want to follow along with what's popular. I don't care what the reason is. People just shouldn't be that way. I don't care. I don't care. Sit your monkey ass down. Whenever you want to know the reason behind something, whenever you want to know why things are done, you have to always trace it back to the root cause. Because if you don't trace things back to the cause, you'll never understand the effects, and you'll never understand how to heal the effects. I use my microphone here to talk about current events, talk about artists, good or bad, politicians, good or bad. But whether I'm talking good about them or bad about them, I always bring it back to solutions. How can we solve said problem? Because I don't believe in blabbering on about problems without getting to some solutions. That's them old circle jerk ass niggas that do that kind of shit. I don't circle jerk. I don't just talk about problems to complain. Like some of you comment section niggas. I don't like this. Okay, what are you gonna do about it? If you ain't thinking what to do about it, then the fuck you talking for? I appreciate that, Erica. You just purchased the webinar and the book. I appreciate that. Yeah. While y'all doing that, I appreciate that. Go ahead and get my book, No Time to Waste. A self-motivation guidebook. Oh, that's the other one. That's the other flyer. Do I even have a flyer for my book up here? I'm so bad at advertising my shit. Yeah, get my book, No Time to Waste. Self-motivation guidebook. How to motivate yourself to get off your ass and be the GOAT. Get off your ass today. Do the things that you want to do. How do you get that done? Well, my self-motivation guidebook gives you my 20 years of experience helping both children and adults not only find their passion, but find a way to make money on doing that passion. Quick commercial break. Thank you. Back to Ice Cube. We always have to go back to the cause to understand effects. In 1993, you'll hear it's a famous interview that Too Short did with Vibe magazine, and he talks about how, if you go back and listen to the old Too Short music, Too Short would talk about booty and bitches, but he'd also spend the time. He also has songs like The Ghetto, to where he talk about problems in the hood and how to solve them. Well, after 93, a lot of the record labels stopped releasing that type music. We got to understand something, people. An artist can write whatever the hell they want to write. They can perform, they can put it all together. But back in the days when record labels dominated the industry, the label had the final say on what got put on an album and what didn't. So as we get into the mid-90s, late 90s, we start to hear no more militancy in black music. We had the militancy before 93, but after 93, we saw it get phased out little by little. And we saw that a little bit in Ice Cube's music, because You know, from Ice Cube's N.W.A. to Death Certificate to America's Most Wanted to The Predator and Lethal Injection. Really, those 4 albums: America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, Predator, Lethal Injection. My Ice Cube gave us some of the most militant music that's ever been heard. But by the time we get to the mid-90s, you know, he's releasing movies. One hand washes the other. So I understand him having to pull back some of the militancy in his music in order to get his movies released. So we switched to West Side Connection and did a lot of party music. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because even when Ice Cube pulled the militancy out of his music in the mid to late 90s and went more party music, he never said anything detrimental to us as a people in his music. He never pushed bad habits like spending money on a whole bunch of bullshit recklessly. He always talked, and there's nothing wrong with party music. Look, every song ain't gotta be militant. Sometimes you need music just to party. But Ice Cube never went in, took that as license to coon out. Let's go through some of his music and some of his work to talk about why we're honoring Ice Cube today. We're going to start back with N.W.A. N.W.A, we all know, one of the greatest groups ever across genres. N.W.A sound started a whole movement. Oftentimes, N.W.A's music gets miscategorized as gangster music. Gangster music is the label that the industry put on it when they started profiting off of it. When N.W.A first started, they labeled it message music. Message music's from the streets of South Central LA. I hear people all the time get mad at N.W.A saying that they brought this and they brought that. No, it's, and I oftentimes have the question, did you actually listen to the music? N.W.A was music highlighting the circumstances of South Central LA at the time. I know because I was around. I've always been aware of my surroundings, even as a 5-6-year-old child. I remember looking around and asking questions as to why things were the way they were. When you're dealing with LA in the mid-'80s, you're dealing with the LAPD. We're dealing with Ronald Reagan's drugs that he's put into our community. You're dealing with white supremacy wreaking hell and havoc on the streets of LA. Using LA to sell its crack cocaine in drug wars. I remember my dad. My dad always talks about back in the 70s when he was in the game. Not gang, when he was in the game. I remember my dad always talking about how the drug dealers were over here, the gangsters were over there. The gangsters and the drugs didn't cross paths. But when the early 80s came, the drug dealers, all of their supply lines sort of dried up. And the drugs went to the gangs. First time in LA that was like that. And when the drugs went to the gangs, guess what happened? The murder rate went up. But guess what also happened? The LAPD LAPD was founded on Klan, on the KKK and white supremacy. They beefed up too. Daryl Gates had something called the Crash Unit. The Crash Unit had these things, and I remember seeing this with my own eyes as a child a few times. LAPD had the Crash Unit. And the Crash Unit was basically a unit that would come around and fuck with black people. They would say you're in a gang, ride up on you, and just jack you. You didn't have to actually be in a gang or nothing. You just had to be black walking down the street. And the crash unit had this tank you see right here on camera. I remember seeing this happen to a lady across the street's house from mine, my grandmother's house when I was a kid. And they would just come roll up with this big ass battering ram truck and knock in a whole side of a wall. Throw in flashbangs and treat United States citizens like prisoners of war. Which, if you listen to Neely Fuller, that's what black people are, prisoners of war. But the crash unit proved it. So the regular citizens of South Central LA were dealing with gangs and drugs on one side and the LAPD on the other side. And us normal regular folks were caught in the middle. Ice Cube grew up in that environment. N.W.A. grew up in this environment. It's often said the musicians are the poets and the scribes of the time. Ice Cube was the perfect scribe of those times. He illustrated the world that we saw. And what that did was it made a lot of people uncomfortable. They made it to where it seemed as if N.W.A. was glorifying the gang life. As if N.W.A. brought in something that did not exist before. No. It may not have existed in your town, but in the environment that these young men grew up in, this was the world that they saw. And they talked about it from a poetic teenage point of view. Got to realize Ice Cube was like, what, 14, 15 when he wrote Fuck the Police? When you listen to N.W.A.'s music, you're listening to a teenager. A teenager. Not somebody in their 30s, 40s. And of course, N.W.A. has some ignorant ass lyrics. Of course. I'm not saying they were just pure. No. There's definitely ignorance within the music. But what else do you expect from a fucking 17-year-old? This was the environment that we were raised in South Central LA. So if you have an issue with what anything Ice Cube or N.W.A. wrote during the 80s, that means you should have a bigger issue with the conditions that caused them to write those lyrics. I always say that music is a reflection of the environment the artist is in. That's why, yes, there's, you have a West Coast sound, an East Coast sound, a down South sound, and all this other stuff. But I don't really get into, do I like, what sound is better? What sound is worse? It's going, whatever you consider best or worst is going to probably reflect your environment. The majority of rap I listen to is from the West Coast. That's because it reflects my environment, my energy. It has a smooth, laid-back tone. I'm an LA nigga. LA is all about cruising down the street in my 6'4". Cube wrote that for an East Coast group at the time. I forgot the name of the group. But they didn't want that song. Because in New York, you don't be cruising down the street in your 6'4". You catching a fucking subway or walking. It's a different environment. So the music's going to have a different feel and tone to it. The energy of the music that's supporting it and the lyrics reflect the environment the artist comes from. So it makes sense to me when someone from New York doesn't necessarily like LA music. I don't take that as an offense. I take that as that's someone who probably just prefers music that reflects their environment. And there are things that we say out here on the West that don't make sense to cats on the East. Same thing and vice versa. You come out in LA writing a song about a bodega, we're going to be like, what the fuck is a bodega? We go to the liquor store. It's basic anthropology, nothing to argue over. So Ice Cube wrote about situations uncomfortable in his environment and expressed it to the world. Ice Cube had a string of great hit records. To me, his run of Death Certificate, The Predator, Lethal Injection, and America's Most Wanted, to me, that was one of the greatest runs in music history. Because mind you, this is during a time that rap don't really sell like that. Rap wasn't really selling like that. Like it's in comparison to R&B and rock and roll at the time. Well, I kind of think it was selling, but you know how them folks do with the numbers. But that's another story. But Ice Cube had a run with these albums that really illustrated the ills of the United States of America and how America was doing black people at the time and still continues to do us. Especially Death Certificate. Death Certificate to me is my favorite hip hop album of all time. I put as far as greatest albums ever, I put Death Certificate up there with Miles Davis's Kinda Blue. I put it up there with Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, as far as music that reflected the environment that we're in as a people. Cube. And the great thing about Death Certificate is they really try their best to sabotage Death Certificate. But if you're from LA, like me, I was 10 when Death Certificate dropped. I remember Ice Cube, that album, truly reflecting the energy and conditions of South Central LA at the time. Death Certificate dropped December 1991. This is before the LA riots. Latasha Harlins had just gotten shot by that Korean store owner for walking out with orange juice. That Korean store owner only got 6 months probation for killing a black girl. The Rodney King beating happened earlier that year, April 1991. We saw that on tape. We had these crash vehicles I showed you guys earlier, this right here. We had these tanks running around the hood, knocking houses down. We had the LAPD planting drugs on innocent people. Lots of stories about brothers getting arrested on a Friday night, being put in jail, and their car being used in the drive-by shooting that weekend. This was very common in the early 90s. The LAPD arresting somebody that has an identifiable lowrider, because lowrider culture was major in LA, especially back then. Putting cars on them things. LA's always had a car culture. That's something that I'm going to get Blaze on the show, talk about the history of LA's car culture that reflected the music. The music reflected the car culture. And since brothers had easily identifiable cars, Mustang 5.0, Chevy, 64 Chevy, those were popular cars at the time. Suzuki Sidekicks. The LAPD would arrest these niggas and do drive-bys in their cars, making people think that there was some gang beef going on, literally starting gang beef. So Cube reflected this in his music. He reflected this in his writings. He has a song on Death Certificate where he talks about not only did Ice Cube talk about what was going on with the LAPD and pointing to them, he also talked about us and what we need to do to make it better. The song Summer Vacation talks about what a lot of niggas were doing from LA back then, going to different cities, setting up drug bases in St. Louis and Seattle. But then at the end of the song, he talks about how at the end of that, you're just going to end up in jail, in prison. He would illustrate what the drug game was about, how people were making money off of it. And then in the song, talking about how after you do all that, you're just going to end up in jail, in prison. He had a song called Look Who's Burning, talking about brothers smashing these hood rats raw, and how black men need to start wearing condoms. Because if you don't wear condoms, you're going to end up like Magic with AIDS. In 91, that's what else was going on in LA. Magic had just got forced to retire from having AIDS. So Cube reflected this kind of stuff in his music. He had a song called Bird in the Hand, where he gave love to and understanding to the drug game, because having a bird in the hand was more reliable than an Operation Push from Jesse Jackson. We had cats like Jesse Jackson running around saying I am somebody, but not giving any tangible solutions. The Rainbow Coalition, Operation Push, all of these initiatives that said a lot but didn't do shit. He had a song called Man's Best Friend. It ain't Ren 1010 nor Spud McKenzie. Nigga, it's a gat, nigga. And a lot of black people, they use a lot of black people at the time to go at Ice Cube for telling black people, your best friend is a gun, not a dog, in the situation that we in, and not using that gun to kill other black people, but just using it to protect yourself against anyone who intrudes on your space. Now, 30 years later, black people that don't sound like such a bad idea. He had a song called I Want to Kill Sam. I want to kill Sam because he ain't my motherfucking uncle. Talking about, he used the allegory of slavery to talk about taxes and how they try to recruit black people to the military, even though this country don't do right by black people. He had a song called Horny Little Devil. Stop trying to run up in our black women, because our black women are queens. And you too impotent and weak to satisfy our women. He had a song called called Black Korea. Quick song, only 46 seconds long, talking about these Asian store owners that disrespect black people. He was telling them then, y'all don't change your attitude, we might burn this motherfucker down. What happened 6 months later? 4 months later? The LA riots. He had another song called True to the Game. In the song True to the Game, Ice Cube broke down 2020 hip hop. He told you. He was like, if y'all keep listening to this bullshit, it ain't gonna be no more Ice Cubes, just Vanilla Ices. And what do we have now? A whole bunch of niggas worshiping Eminem, who can't rap better than any of the top 100 black people. But since he's a white boy, niggas just wanna give him credit because he had that one hot album with Dre. Okay. See how quick niggas are to celebrate them other folks? But then you talk about Ice Cube, man, that's just a West Coast sound. But that same nigga treat Eminem as if he's the next coming of Michael Jackson. He had another song called Doing Dumb Shit, talking about how niggas be doing it, like how we grew up doing dumb shit. And how his pops got him in check from that shit at the right time. Cube had another song on Death Certificate called Us. And Us was talking back to black people. Got a bad heart condition. Still eat hog mogs and chitlins. Talking about how quick black people are to shoot each other over stepping on somebody's shoes, and how we need to stop that dumb shit. This is in 1991, people. But to show you how ignorant we are as a people, to show you how wrong-headed and misguided Black America is, what's the number one song people go to on this album full of gems? No Vaseline. Which is the greatest diss song of all time. But what does that say about us as a people? How Ice Cube wrote a full album to talk about our condition, talk about what we need to do to fix our condition, talk about what we need, who the open enemy is, and how we need to direct our anger at our enemy, not each other. What do people gravitate to? No Vaseline. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that as a people, we ain't ready. We ain't ready. Because for you to skip over 19 songs of information and game, good music, steady mobbing, good music, wrong nigga to fuck with, good music. We skip over all that information to go right to a personal beef that Ice Cube, a beef that he sat down maybe 10 minutes after he wrote the song. And we the people going around talking about something. See, man, we got all this crappy music. All this music of today is crap. Well, guess why? Look at what we accept. And look at what we reject. I have no personal issues with Tupac. But when it comes to militancy, he ain't no Ice Cube. Tupac gave you some cool militant music, but he also gave you a whole bunch of bullshit. I said it. He did talk a lot of good stuff, but he also talked a lot of black on black harming one another bullshit too. Yeah, I fucked your wife and all that shit. We talk about Jay-Z as if he's anything next to Jesus. And he ain't done none of this shit for us as a people. You go back to America's Most Wanted. One of my favorite songs on that album is Get Off My Dick and Tell Your Bitch to Come Here. The reason why I like that song, Get Off My Dick and Tell Your Bitch to Come Here, because he has a line where he says, if you a man, if you want to recognize, shake my hand, make it a firm shake, and move the fuck on. All these fanboys over here looking at grown-ass men, you like that particular artist, and you want to just sit up there in that nigga's face. No, fellas. If you like someone's artwork, say I appreciate what you do, shake his hand, and move the fuck on. We ain't got time to have fanboys. We don't have time to be fanboys of anybody. We can like what they do. We should be able to speak about what they do, good and bad, objectively, and move on. Problem is, niggas of today become worshiping disciples of an artist that made them feel good for a song or two. No, I don't think Pac was no agent. I don't think Pac was a bad person. Pac had a duality to him. He had some good things he did and some bad things that he did. All I'm saying is, I'm talking about us as a people. This ain't about Tupac. This is about us as black people recognizing who's on our team, recognizing, and us being able to properly assess who to recognize for doing things for us and representing us in the right way. And my point of view is Ice Cube is a shining example on the person or the artist to uplift for doing things the right way with Black America. You can like whoever you like. I ain't about to have no argument with you niggas. That's one thing I don't do with you hip hop niggas. Y'all always want to argue who's better and who's not. Shut the fuck up and like who you like. God damn it. Ain't about who you like. What's one again? It's nothing Cube talked about. Stop falling in love with these niggas that do a song or two that's good. Like they music, then get back to your fucking life. Cube had a song called on the America's Most Wanted album called "Who's the Mac." It's one of my favorite songs. Who's the Mac? Is it that brother in a big lack trying to get any bitch he can with a good rap? Or is the Mac them folks? He got you asking, who's the real pimp? Is it the dude you see on the street? Or is it them people? A very important question that we need to continue to ask. Because oftentimes as people, we get angry at the wrong people. Who got the camera on the Predator album? Wicked. The Predator. Today was a good day. We had to tear this motherfucker up. And when over on Lethal Injection, my favorite Ice Cube song, Cave Bitch. Ain't nobody went harder on white women than Ice Cube. Hell, you got rappers today putting white women all in their videos, hiring white women to run their companies. Jigga man. Ice Cube said, fuck that. I'm gonna write a song called Cave Bitch. Stringy hair, no derriere, frontin' and faking with your silicone pair. Do I wanna fuck? Not hardly. It's kind of like Barbie fucking Bob Marley. Went straight up telling black people, don't fuck with these cave bitches. What do we got now? Rappers that can't wait to get with her. Yeah, even in the movie Triple X, he had that scene where he could have kissed that white girl and he looked at the camera, broke the fourth wall and said, no, not doing it. Which takes us to Ice Cube's movies. Again, we recognizing those who do right by black society. Ice Cube. Ice Cube then went full on into movies with the Friday series. Ice Cube has had 3 different. First of all, most filmmakers don't have one successful series. Ice Cube has 3 successful movie franchises. The Friday franchise, the Barbershop franchise, and the Are We There Yet franchise. What filmmakers can say they've successfully done 3 different movie franchises, let alone 1? Think about that. Think about this. Friday, one of my favorite of all time series, probably my favorite, was a feel-good movie about living in South Central LA. Talking about just day-to-day stuff. Was it militant? No. Was it angry? Did it have an overall kill Whitey message like some of his movies? Music? No. No. But it illustrated us as a people when we just kicking it on different levels. There was no coonery in these films. There's no professional white ass kissing. Hell, ain't even no white people in the movies. Funny depictions of day-to-day lives that launched the careers of so many entertainers that we enjoy through today. Chris Tucker. It relaunched John Witherspoon. Unfortunately, it gave us Terry Crews. That's Ice Cube. I love you, Ice Cube. But damn, why'd you have to give... What? Cube didn't know Terry Crews would turn out to be the coon that he is. We didn't know that at the time. Damon was a good character. Mike Epps. Katt Williams. Great movies. Because like I always say before, everything ain't DJ Pooh. Yeah. Everything ain't got to be militant. Everything don't have to be about a message. It is okay to just sit back and just have some fun shit. It's okay to get away from the message, to just chill and relax and have a good time. Cube gave us that without having them folks all up in our mix. That's another good one, Quanez. Higher learning. Even Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood, to me, I remember being a kid. I rode my bike down when they filmed that scene on Boys in the Hood where when Ferris came up and bumped what's his name, and then he pulled out that gun and shot up in the air. I wasn't there when they actually filmed that part, but I was there when they filmed that scene earlier that day because that was nighttime. I had to get back home to my mama. But earlier that day when they were getting things together, one of the other kids on our block was like, "Hey, yo, Ice Cube was down there on Crenshaw Coliseum." We was all like, "He on Crenshaw Coliseum? What's Ice Cube doing over here?" So me and my boys got on our bikes, and we rode our bikes down there. And there he was right there, Crenshaw Coliseum, right in front of that Wiener Schnitzel. Across the street from that Majestic Pontiac back then it was Majestic Pontiac. Now it's a fucking Denny's and a Starbucks over there in the Big Five. But back then it was Majestic Pontiac. And we rode our bikes down there. We was like 10 of us. "What up, Ice Cube?" "Hey, what up, little niggas?" And we was happy as hell. Then I had to get back home before the street lights came on. You dig? But that movie was a reflection of our environment. It really was. It was a very accurate reflection of our environment. Higher Learning was a movie, the part that Cube played was pivotal. Because some of the words and lines that he said. Remember that scene in Higher Learning where he said, "Don't read this for a class. Read it for yourself." That was very important to me. That was big for me. Because at the time I was super dyslexic. I hated reading. Lord, I hated reading. That was some shit you only did for school. But when I heard that line, it made me rethink my relationship with reading. Yeah, Chris Brown, run, nigga, run. And the same with the Barbershop series. The Barbershop was a series that just reflected the things that niggas talk about in a barbershop. Good, bad, and indifferent. Ice Cube used his power in media to, even when he couldn't show us in the most gracious light, it showed us in just a day-to-day light without cooning. Sometimes it's good just to sit back and watch a movie that's talking about some shit with no tap dancing coons in it. And one of the biggest moves Ice Cube made, black people always want to talk about, we need our own league. We need our own league. Well, guess what? Ice Cube gave us our own fucking league. Big Three basketball, which I'm a huge supporter of. I watch every game. He knows he can't compete directly with the NBA. So he did what he can do. He got some Arab investors from the Middle East to put their money up to create a league that's for us, by us. That's a good one, filmmaker Jam. I forgot about Players Club. Yeah, even Players Club, the movie. Players Club, the movie, yes, it was about strip clubs, but it wasn't all about just showing titties all over the place and just making it. The Players Club could have easily been a degenerate film about a whole bunch of degeneracy. No, he talked about the environment around the strip joints. Since niggas go to strip clubs anyway, why not make a movie about what we already do? But talk about it in a way that it addresses the issues and highlights some of the things that we can do that could be some of the constructive things that can come out of that environment. That's integrity in filmmaking. Same thing with the big three. We always talk about we need our own league. People get mad at the NFL, mad at the NBA. So Ice Cube literally created his own league. Shouts out to Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson, back with the Boston Celtics, back in the NBA on a 10-day contract. He credited Ice Cube in the big three and the shine that he got from the big three being what got him back into the NBA. Ice Cube has continued over 30 years to make move after move after move to put Black America in a good light. Oh man, thank you, BGBGs. Yeah, All About the Benjamins, another great movie. I don't know how I forgot about All About the Benjamins. That was just a good heist film with no cooning. And it was pretty funny. We got to recognize those who do right by us as a people. We can't just complain about those who do wrong, who fuck us over. We got to show love to those who do us right. I'm not here to say Ice Cube is perfect, that he's infallible. I'm not here to say we should blindly follow him, because we as Black Americans, we have to be the most critical of our entertainers. We got to keep our entertainers in line. And when they make moves out of line, out of step, we got to be the first to check them. I'm not here to say worship Ice Cube. I'm not here to say you need to be a fan of his music or his movies. I don't give a fuck what you do with it. You can not like his music for all I care. Hell, if you're not from the West Coast, if you have, depending on your style of music, you may not even like his music. You may not even like rap. I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their preferences. You may not like Friday. Friday may not have been your cup of tea, or The Barbershop, or any of his movies. That's fine. Again, I don't deal with emotions and what people like or dislike. We're talking about this from a straight up objective point of view. Facts. Tangibles. That's what we're here talking about in this broadcast. Honoring those who've done it. Because what ends up happening is Black folks end up honoring the wrong people. Black folks, we so quick to honor somebody because they have $1 billion without asking, how did they make that $1 billion? What good is honoring a Black billionaire if they made their money selling us out with music that did not uplift us, music that caused us to spend our money in unreasonable ways? What good is that $1 billion? if that $1 billion is a face for white money? What good is that artist or that famous person being a billionaire if their billions are just tiny basis points relative to the billions they made them white boys behind them that put a battery in their back? What good is it? It's time niggas stop celebrating black people's dollar amount and celebrate the content of what made them that dollar amount. You don't celebrate. And second of all, why'd you even celebrate a dollar amount? Especially in music. Music is a shell game. We don't know how much money these niggas are worth. None of them. Not one. I don't care if you're talking about Kanye, Jay-Z, Soulja Boy, Drake, nigga, the Sugar Hill Gang. We don't know how much any of these niggas are worth. Because music money is a shell game. We know how much money these people generate. But in music, what you generate generally has no correlation to the amount of money in your pockets. Most of the time, the artist that generates those levels of money, they're the poorest in their circle. They're the poorest amongst those they're generating the money for. We know that these Forbes lists, people pay to be put on these Forbes top 10, top 50 lists. Forbes don't know how much money you got. They estimate things off the highest probability of the things that the items that you represent. What could these things sell at their most expensive price point? And then they come together and say, okay, that's this person's net worth. Hell, the real ones pay to keep their money out of Forbes. The real ones pay Forbes to don't mention my name. So when you start seeing these Forbes lists of who got this much money, or TMZ, or the Washington Post, or whoever, we don't know how much any artist is worth. I promise you that. Music is a shell game, a shell game, a shell game. What is a shell game? Y'all know that game when that hustling game where somebody puts a ball under 3 different cups and they start shuffling those cups around. Okay, keep your eye on the ball. Which cup is the ball under? That's how the money is in music. Except the artists don't know which cup the money's under. But then they go and tell Forbes to put my name out there, and a lot of you dumb niggas run around and believe it. Not y'all in the chat room, of course. Not the people listening to me right now. Of course not y'all. But the niggas y'all like to argue with. So don't go around praising people's net worth. Praise the content of what they recognize, the content of what they do to make their money, and assess it. And those who use the content of what they do to make life a better place for Black America, let's appreciate them and love them. Those who, with the content of what they do, make their money off the plight of Black America, we got to recognize them too. And be every bit as disrespectful to them as they are to our intelligence. We got artists out there who say black, bliggity black. But every time they're on camera, they're representing white interests. They're saying vote for Hillary. Vote for Joe. Hey, LGBTQ agenda. I'm with you all the way. What about black and brown and minorities and people of color? And they go into all these things except for directly black. They got money for white-run organizations. They got the knowledge, but don't spread the knowledge with you. Oh, yeah, it's 11:11, my favorite time of day. We got to know the difference, because the majority of black people out front, they ain't no good for us. They make their money by keeping us in check. They make their money by keeping us in line. They make their money producing music that pushes us to a degenerate lifestyle, or music to make us spend money we don't have. I forgot. Yeah, that's a great line, Cube had, Aries. I remember. I used to be cool until I stopped filling out my W-2. Ice Cube. Now senators are getting high. Well, Jack King, if you see 11:11 all the time, consult with your numerologist. I recommend Lloyd Strayhorn or King Simon. King Simon's done this show before. But 11:11 usually represents two paths. The two ones. Left path, right path. Which door do you choose? The path of the comfortability, the path that you've been on, or a new path? That's usually what happened, what 11:11 represents. And when you keep seeing the numbers 11:11, they're telling you that you're at a fork in the road. Which way you gonna go, left or right? That's usually what 11:11 represents. That's why I always call out 11:11 when I see it. When you keep seeing 11:11, it's a reminder to you that you have a choice in your life. But I recommend you hit up King Simon or Lloyd Strayhorn. Those are two numerologists that I fucks with. I like their work. But back to what we're talking about. Recognizing those who recognize and do right by you as a people. Ice Cube is one of the greats that has done right by us as a people throughout his career. And we as a people must always thank Ice Cube for what he's done. You know why? Do you know why it's so important that we thank Ice Cube? It's because in life you get whatever you pay most attention to. If you pay more attention to the people who just got billions of dollars but don't really do much for you, you get more of that. But if you pay attention and recognize those who use their platform to do right by you, guess what? You get more of that too. Let me tell you something. Being an advocate for black people is a very lonely road. Because not only do you face those folks with the power and the pen, but you also face your people who either don't recognize what you're doing at all and just kind of ignore it, or they just jump out and say, the loudest of us are, not us, but loudest black folks be the main ones telling you to stop. The same way they did Ice Cube when he had his platinum plan for Black America. I was one this place here, this channel here was one of the first, I think I was the first to break down in detail Ice Cube's contract with Black America. When last May, Ice Cube came out with this contract, and when he came out with it, he flat out said, this is something that we should have politicians adhere to before they get our vote. Either some of it or all of it. And I heard Ice Cube when he said that. I did a broadcast on this very show. You can look it up. It was the first show that I did here on YouTube. I was at some radio station that wasn't going anywhere before that. I would upload some shows to YouTube, but I wasn't really fucking with YouTube like that. One of my first episodes where I really decided to put my heels in the ground last June 2020 was the episode I did where I went through this Ice Cube plan for Black America, and I talked about how we can use this when speaking to our local, state, and national representatives. I personally emailed Maxine Waters. I tried to get a meeting with her, but they were saying because of COVID, you can't. So I put in a lot of work telling Maxine Waters, what part of this plan for Black America do you plan on using in exchange for my vote? She never hit me back, so I didn't vote for her. Did it work? No, because she still ended up getting elected. But I'm not going to sit around and complain about what other black people aren't doing without me being the first to do it. I've always known, see, Cube knew something, and he knows something that most black Americans don't quite understand yet. In politics, you don't wait for the politician to create something for you. You create that for the politician and tell them, okay, if you want my vote, you're going to do A, B, and C. Dr. Claude Anderson has been telling us that for 50 years. Political science books have been telling us that since day one. When you read Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, he talks about in that book how back in the 1920s there was a plan in Congress to talk about educating black Americans into political science and proper politics, and how that plan was struck down with one of the Congress people saying if black people ever found out how to use politics, we can't work it against them anymore. So this has been they've been trying to keep black people away from understanding political science from day one. But me being someone who I wasn't a political science major, but I took enough political science classes to understand how politics works. When I saw Ice Cube with his contract with Black America, I said, okay, this guy here is doing it the way the political science books talk about it needs to get done in order for things to happen. You create the plan and you withhold your vote until someone comes along and says they're going to represent and get past things in your plan. Will they be able to pass everything? Probably not. But should they fight for something? Yes. And if they don't, get them out of there. That's what Cube was saying. But we had all of these Democrat coons, these fat women that are 2 donuts smaller than my fat ass with big butterfly glasses. You always know you're dealing with You know you're dealing with a vote blue no matter who liberal black woman. It's always these chunky chicks with butterfly glasses. What's up with butterfly glasses, people? What's up with butterfly glasses and liberal Democratic coon chicks? It's always these Stacey Abrams shaped butterfly glasses with a scarf around their neck. Liberal Democrats that always, those are the main ones. Ice Cube need to shut up. Not now, Ice Cube. We need to get Trump out of office. Them chicks over on, what was that, Fox News, Fox Soul? That remember they tried to blitz Ice Cube and tell him he was wrong for his contract with Black America, and Ice Cube stood there 10 toes down? Ice Cube, they wanted to cancel Ice Cube last summer. After all, that's why another thing we gotta recognize brothers like Ice Cube. Because if we don't recognize and protect our brothers like Ice Cube, that leaves them out there for these Fox Soul degenerate, ain't ever done nothing right by Black America people to run around and try to cancel these people. The loud and wrong, they've had their time. It's time for us to speak up and speak louder than the loud and wrong. I encourage people to go to contractwithblackамerica.us to read Ice Cube's contract with Black America, the contract that Joe Biden said after he gets elected he's going to speak to Ice Cube about. Has he spoken to Ice Cube about this? We're coming up on a year of Joe Biden being in office. Has he talked about this? No. No. So we got to be the ones that highlight those who do right by Black Americans. And you know, because they try to come out, they've been trying to come out, they keep trying to throw little shots at him. Like now, is a thing on Twitter where people are like, because Faison Love came out and said he only got paid $2,500 for Friday. And he was just saying that when you hear him say it in context, it wasn't that bad, but they're trying to really blow it up and cause a rift between these brothers. Ice Cube talked about how he was paid to scale. Scale in Hollywood is paying people within what the actors union tells them they need to get paid. Black folks get paid shit by white people all the goddamn time. And it ain't never no goddamn backlash. Ice Cube makes a movie on a shoestring budget that happened to just do great. Now, 25 years later, people want to have revisionist history. Don't let these people attack that man. Bug said Cube and me, we made it in. Yeah, I've been on Fox. Y'all saw me. If anybody y'all saw me on Fox, I did Fox Soul twice. The first time, them niggas didn't know what they was getting. The second time, they tried to sabotage my ass, but I was ready for them. Because I know how these white supremacists work. These niggas don't know. When it comes to rhetoric, I'm better than all these niggas that's on TV. They hired dumb people to do TV. I'm smarter than them niggas. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person. I'm by far not the smartest person. But TV don't hire smart people. So I can get any of them niggas on TV. The smart niggas over here on the internet with me. The smart brothers got YouTube channels. They're not getting called to work for Fox Soul or BET. The dumb niggas get them jobs. So when they tried to box me in on Fox News, Fox Soul, I hit them with that negative dribble. Y'all know I take everything back to basketball. I'm over here air dribbling like I got a ball in my hand. Y'all know how it is when you play point guard. You cross the half court line, you see your defender, and you see the help defender coming up, and they're getting ready to blitz you. What do you do as the point guard when the defense blitzes you coming across on a half court trap, or you're about to run screen and roll, and the forward steps out and blitzes you? What do you do as a guard? You take 2 negative steps. A negative dribble is where you back up. You create floor space. In rhetoric, we call it heighten the contradiction. And now they got a choice to make. Do they stay out and double team on you and leave it a wide open pass for a wide open layup to your teammate down there? Or do they run back and leave you solo one-on-one and you break this nigga down in front of you who you know can't defend you when you cross that nigga up? It's no different in rhetoric and sport. In rhetoric, my people, my niggas. When they blitz you, when you get these people, black-faced white supremacists, trying to come to you and nail you down on something you say, you back up. You make sure you expand the conversation, not to this one thing that I said, but you remind them of a total picture. And then once you do that, most of them people are so dumb, they'll get flabbergasted. And then you go right back in attack mode with your points of view. And they ain't ready for you. That's what I did them niggas. That's what I did to them niggas at Fox Soul. That first time they weren't ready for me. So I talked about, they cut the show short. It should have been an hour. It was only 40 minutes. When they tried to talk about black Americans, and I was the only foundational black American on there. They had a black chick from England and a black chick who had a Chinese mama on there. And a nigga that wasn't comfortable with being black as a host. So that second time I did Fox Soul, they spelled my name wrong. They gave me a bunch of topics, but when I got to the show, they changed the topics. And what was the first thing that Mike Hill dude did? Mike Hill tried to blitz me on Fox Soul. DwannBrown, the last time you were here, you said that black people can't be racist. Da, 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 da. He expected me to back down like a lot of these coon-ass niggas would with spotlights on them. I didn't back down. I doubled down. I said, hell no, black people can't be racist. Because we don't control the economy to freeze people out to be racist. And he tried to blitz me and say a few other things. And I, yak, yak. And they had to change the subject. And they never called my black ass down there again. And yeah, they tried to out-talk me. And you know what? You know what I find beautiful about that? My little channel right here gets more views than shit over on Fox Soul. Because of y'all. Thank you. My little channel gets more views than Mike Hill, the nigga that tried to blitz me, than his show on BNC News. Black News Channel. Go look up BNC's numbers on YouTube and look up my numbers. Y'all watching me, not them. See, I'm going to bring this all the way back to the beginning. I appreciate y'all, man. For real, from the bottom of my heart, I do. I'm taking this back to Ice Cube. I met I met more celebrities than I can name. I've never met Ice Cube. Other than that one time, I didn't meet him as a kid. Other than that one time as a kid, we rode our bike down there and we said, "What's up, Ice Cube?" from like 300 feet away. But I've never actually met Ice Cube. Ice Cube and Bootsy Collins are the two artists that I want to meet that I never met. Ice Cube, George Clinton, and Bootsy Collins. I ain't never met neither of them three. If I can meet them three, I'll be happy. I don't care about nothing else. If I can meet Ice Cube, if I can meet Bootsy Collins, if I can meet George Clinton and have conversations with these brothers, that would be everything to me. If I can have conversations with these three people. Other than that, I really don't give a fuck about celebrities. I really don't. But Cube is my inspiration. He's always been my inspiration. You've never seen me have arguments about Ice Cube. He's my favorite rapper, but you never seen me have an argument about him. I don't believe black people should be arguing over who's their favorite artist. For me, it's not about Ice Cube being my favorite artist. It's about me embodying what Ice Cube has done throughout his career in my career. To me, that's the highest thanks you can give someone who inspires you. The highest thanks you can give someone who inspires you is to embody the parts of their message that inspired you. To be the person that they inspired you to be through their art. I grew up on Ice Cube. And listening to Ice Cube's music as a 10-year-old, as an 8-year-old, as a 12-year-old, 16-year-old, 26-year-old, there was just always something about him going back at the establishment. It was Ice Cube's anti-establishment sound that attracted me to his art. So when I became a stand-up comedian, no stand-up comedian inspired me more than Ice Cube's music did. I don't really have a stand-up comedian that I pattern myself after. I have favorites, you know, my favorite comedians: Eddie Murphy, Robin Harris, Corey Holcomb. And it's an honor being a friend of Corey Holcomb, with him being someone who's inspired me. I can't say a friend, but an acquaintance of Corey Holcomb. That's to me, that's really cool. Being Corey being somebody that's invited me onto his show 5150. Because Corey Holcomb has always had that fuck the establishment point of view too. But my comedy and my art, not only comedy, my radio personality, just my life as an artist, the biggest inspiration to me has always been Ice Cube. I don't give a fuck what's popular. I don't give a fuck what people may think about me going up against what they hold valuable. I don't give a fuck about impressing people with flashy clothes and cars. What did Ice Cube say in his song, "Today Was a Good Day"? I got a beep from Kim and she can fuck all night. Well, Ice Cube ended up marrying Kim. When you go listen to his album Laugh Now and Cry Later, Cube talks about how he married his manager. When he got the woman that he saw was it, he married her and turned her into his manager. Yeah, Ice Cube's wife manages his career. Ice Cube's wife is there with him, side by side, helping him make the important decisions. So is my wife. My wife is my eyes and ears. I get that from Dick Gregory. First of all, I get it from my mom and my dad, because my mom is my dad's eyes and ears. I grew up in that kind of household. I grew up seeing this shit. I grew up with the perfect mom and the perfect dad for me. who are still together, who I gotta make fucking appointments to see them now because every time I go over their house, them niggas is either in Vegas, at a casino, at a movie, doing something fun. And they coming up on their 70s. They in their 60s right now. Still doing fun shit. That's my parents. And that's our Ice Cube. So I always want to say my first inspiration is always my dad and my mom. My mom and my dad, those are my gods. Those, first of all, they're always number one for anything that I do. But when I get past my immediate family and start looking into entertainment, Ice Cube has always been the one that I always recognize for doing it right. Because he recognized his black queen, his black woman early, and he married her. And he don't sit her off and play her off to the side like she's just some dumb broad. He integrates her in what he does in his career, which is what I recommend to my black brothers out there. Black men, you find yourself a black woman. And this, I'm not going against those who don't. There are people out there who have found love interracially. I'm not one to criticize y'all. Okay, let me start off by saying that. I don't judge. People marry for whatever reasons they marry for. Just make sure whatever you marry for is an affirmative position. You got what you like. You're not marrying something because she isn't something you don't like. That's the only time I have an issue. When you marry outside your race because you don't like black women. That's a self-hate problem. That's a self-issue problem. And you're going to be no good to the white woman, Latina woman, or whatever other race woman you want to be with if you don't like yourself first. Let me start off by saying that. But for me, my point of view, what worked for me is you get yourself a black woman. Because a black woman knows you. She's going to be there for you when times are good, when times are bad. And when I say get a black woman, I don't mean you go get the nearest video vixen you can find. Because that's a problem a lot of niggas make. They want to go marry themselves a video vixen, didn't spend any time vetting her and who she is. You just married her because she has a pretty face and a big booty. If you marry off superficial basis, you're going to have a superficial marriage. Recognize the women around you that have substance, fellas. Fellas, it's a woman that you know that's always had your back. You may have even fucked on her a few times, or you may not have. But she ain't the one you taking serious because you too busy trying to chase a woman that, first of all, she's probably out your league. Second of all, because she looks good on your arm to impress a whole bunch of niggas that don't even like you. Niggas want to marry somebody and get with somebody to impress a whole bunch of people that they don't even know. That's not what marriage is about, fellas. Marriage is about getting with the one that got your back. Get yourself a smart black woman. A woman with brains. She's going to do things for you that can't be measured by money. Like I said this before, you got people like Kevin Samuels running around saying you can't take a woman serious unless she spent at least $500 on a gift for you. That was some of the absolute asinine worst advice I've ever heard somebody give. And y'all know me, I'm not into running around criticizing other YouTubers. But when I heard that, I said, I gotta speak up on that. You don't marry a woman because of how much money she spend on you. Niggas that talk like that, you sound like a bitch. You sound like you trying to be kept. It's not a man's job to be kept. We provide. And she provides the stability. Can't no woman measure her value on no $500 gift. My mama didn't give my dad no $500 gift before they got married for my dad to say, she the one I want to marry. No. My dad recognized my mom had his back. My wife's mom didn't give her dad $500 gift to prove she was marriage material. But 46 years later, they still married. My parents still married 40 years later. My wife never gave me no fucking $500 gift. But me and my wife both had the coronavirus this past week and a half. We both had that Armarion version. That shit was so goddamn weak. I was not sick. The only thing I lost was my sense of smell. But we quarantined. It's been 9 days so far. I haven't left my wife's side in 9 days. We've been door dashing our stuff, just really quarantining, just out of respect. Out of respect for those out there. Do I buy into this COVID hype? No, but I have respect for those who do. So I've been in quarantine with my wife for like 9-10 days now. And these have been some of the best 9-10 days of my life. We've had so much fun not leaving each other's side, other than me going outside to smoke some weed real quick. But you get that when you recognize a woman of substance, when you recognize a woman that got your back, when you recognize women are worth more than a fucking $500 gift, when you recognize women are more than a big butt and a smile, when you recognize that women are more than just some bitches you fuck on, when you recognize the power and majesty of a black woman, like Dick Gregory often talks about, like Ice Cube always talks about, you're going to get that in return in a woman of substance. Women outnumber us, fellas, so it ain't no excuses. Women, on the other hand, it's a lot of niggas in jail. It's a lot of niggas that's gay now. But for the fellas, so many goddamn women out there. You better find one. I appreciate that, Josh Hawkins. You the homie too, brother. Bug Sheldon, Knowledge Born. I respect y'all. Yeah, MC Hammer is another class act. Been married to his woman for 35. I saw he put up on Instagram the other day that he was been married to his woman for 35 years. We got the real deal out there. I've always been, y'all know me. I'm always saying we don't look to entertainers. We look to each other. And I stand by that. We look to each other. We don't look to celebrities. But every now and again, you will get that celebrity that does it right. And I do mean every now and again. Because 99% of these blue check celebrities are jackasses. But in the rare case, you do get the celebrity who does it right. Give them their flowers while they're living. Because it's hard to be a stand-up brother in a cesspool of degenerates like the music industry and Hollywood produces. It's hard to be right in a cesspool of wrong. So that's why we honor Ice Cube. And we thank Ice Cube for what he's given to us and what he's done for us. Because he doesn't have to do it. As a matter of fact, he'd make way more money if he didn't. He'd make way more money if he didn't. Do you think Ice Cube would have had an issue getting Last Friday done if he decided to throw in a whole bunch of gay beta males, and if he decided to throw in token white boys to be the leaders and the front runners and a whole bunch of debauchery and degeneracy? You don't think he would have gotten that next Friday made if he decided to do that? Shouts out the GMS show. I appreciate the GMS show. That's a brother who gives, because I don't really watch too many reaction videos. And the main reason why I don't watch reaction videos on YouTube is because I don't like seeing black people tear down other black people for their own personal gain. This brother GMS show, whenever he decides to do a breakdown on whether it be 5150, this show, Zoe's show, whatever, he always gives you the information, but he don't tear people down and give the information. That brother talks about the information from an objective point of view, and he highlights things that happen without tearing people down and causing rifts between people. If you're going to support a reaction type platform, support brothers like that who can give their point of view without being negative and without harming and causing division amongst us as a people. Because we as a people, we can criticize each other. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to criticize each other when black people step out of line. We're supposed to. But criticism should not equal drama and cause more confusion. Criticism is something that should be done to get people back in line and back on the straight and narrow, not further division. So I salute brothers like GMS show, and for anybody else listening, if you are part of one of them shows who like to criticize people and cause more division and cause more harm and hurt and dissension within the black community, fuck you. I said it. If you are the type, I can't name any names because like I said, once I hear, first I don't even turn on 99% of reaction videos because most of these niggas is hella negative. But sometimes that I do, I don't even know the names of them negative ones, because the minute I see people breaking shit down and causing more division, I stop that video and I move on. They get no more of my attention. But if you're the type that likes to bring up things that people do wrong and cause more division between black people, from the bottom of my heart, fuck you. I want to send a fuck you out to black people who talk black, bliggity black. But then when it comes time to, when white folks come around, all you got is criticisms of black people, never criticisms of them. Fuck you to Kamal Bell. I'm gonna do a show breaking down his new little bullshit show he got coming out about Cosby. A big fuck you to niggas like Mark Lamont Hill. A big fuck you to these Jamil Hills. I want to send out, I do not respect you to niggas like Whack 100. Not Whack. What's the other one? What's the other one? Not him. Academics. Academic. That nigga. Him. I get these niggas confused. Hell, Whack 100 be doing some bullshit, but I don't follow him enough to really know what he do. But the cats like Academics, The Shade Room, TMZ, I don't respect you. That other little bullshit show that they have out there, what's that show? Oh yeah, Whack do be fucking up. Cynthia G, I don't have respect for that. I don't have respect for none of you niggas. I don't respect you niggas that go on Vlad TV talking about I'm a gangster this, I was a gangster that. If you was such a gangster, why are you talking to this motherfucker? It'd be different if you had an album to sell. If you promote the album, fine. Go on Vlad and promote your album. If you got a new movie coming out, fine. Go on Vlad and promote that. Whatever. He has a big platform. But if you going on Vlad to just talk about other black people and you ain't even got shit to promote, You off cold. You don't get respect. Over here, you don't. I don't have respect for people like Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, Pete Rock. These people who come into foundational Black American hip hop and then turn around and say this music is from the Caribbean when your fucking island ain't produced a damn thing there. You had to come here to benefit from our culture that we openly gave to you, because we as Black Americans love all Black people, so we accept all Black people into our culture. So for people like you guys to come into our culture and bite off our culture, not give respect to our culture, and claim it as your own, I don't respect you. I'm not saying I don't respect all people from the Caribbean. I respect brothers from the Caribbean who show love. I respect brothers from Jamaica and the Caribbean who love Jamaica, who love Puerto Rico, who love Cuba. I want you to love where you come from. But recognize the leaders and the greatness of your people, and bring a mutual recognition to our people. And let's mutually love and respect our contributions to the greater Black diaspora around the world. I don't respect you niggas coming trying to stand on our shoulders to make yourself look better. Running the Vlad TV gossiping about nigga business. The fuck your problem, Black people? The fuck you doing talking to some white man about Black business for? Go to Vlad, promote your CD, promote your book, promote your music, promote your single, promote your movie, and get the fuck on. The hell you doing talking to him about Black culture and Black business? You sellout coon niggas. I don't have respect for y'all. You know why I don't respect people like you? Because you don't respect yourselves. No self-respecting person disrespects their group for attention. Yeah, fuck you to Don Lemon, people like you. People like Byron Allen, who don't fuck with Black people, but want to come around Black people when they got a lawsuit. Thank you, Professor Black Truth, for your moment of truth this morning about Byron Allen and people like him. Black people who only want to come around black, bliggity black when they want something. Because we as a Black people, we've been hurt. We've been traumatized. So people know they can come to us with 2 or 3 good words, and a lot of us are going to fall for it. Because we've been so traumatized. We've been so disrespected. People know that they can say 1 or 2 things pro-Black and they'll get our attention. And then turn around, I'm buying title for Black people. Then turn around and hire nothing but non-Black people to run title and then sell that shit off to white people, Jay-Z. These niggas know that they can come around Black people and do a Super Bowl performance with a whole bunch of Black women in berets and afros, but wear a blonde wig, Beyonce, get our attention, and then go back to living their lives not giving a fuck about Black people. I'm tired of this shit. Oh yeah, Amanda Seals, people like her. I'm black. Then you want to falsely accuse cats like Myron Roll of rape, and you wasn't even there, bitch? What? Oh, mammy ass bride. (2022) is going to be about calling out these professional white ass kissing niggas. (2022) is going to be about cleaning house. Getting rid of those who speak for us but don't move for us. Yeah, corny shows like Blackish. Blackish started out good his first season, but I knew where that shit was going because it was on ABC. ABC ain't gonna sustain nothing good for us. You got shows like Blackish full of mulattoes. And no disrespect to the mulattoes, because there's a lot of down mulattoes out there. But if you're gonna have a show called Blackish, hell, where are the people, the black people that don't have Jewish fathers? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Hell, I don't mind you having light-skinned folks, but hell, get the light. There's plenty of light-skinned black people that still had two black parents that grew up in black neighborhoods. Get them. You getting the black people that had white parents, them kind. There's plenty of light-skinned black people that got black parents, black grandparents, black great-great-grandparents. They just happen to be light-skinned. Nah, you want to get the niggas that was raised in non-black households to represent black people. Enough of that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with black people who have white parents. I have no issues with you. But for the last 20, 30 years, y'all the only ones that they give a mic to when it comes to speaking black issues. Black people who are rejected by their white side. Those be the first ones that they put a microphone in front of to speak up for black people. No. Y'all don't get to speak for black people anymore. The people who speak for black people now are the ones who actually had relationships with their black parents. Good relationships with their black parents. You may not have been raised in a house with your dad, but you still love your dad and know your dad and have a great relationship with your dad. These are the black people that need to take over the mic now. Those of us that had two black parents that did right by us. No more of these black people that be on the internet that had crackhead mamas, but y'all be the first ones to talk about black women. I'm not going to call it. I have some names in mind. I'm not going to call them out because I don't want to disrespect their parents. But if you listen to these manosphere people, you know who I'm talking about. Black people who had shitty black parents, but y'all be the first ones that want to talk about everything wrong with black women. Moderators, get Orjeev out of here. That's a self-hating nigger right there that's just trying to get all the attention in the chat room. Get them out of here. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Self-hating niggas don't get a space to speak in my chat room. My chat room is for black people and for people that got something to contribute to the conversation. So that's nothing that we need to get rid of in 2022. We need to get rid of everybody having the right to speak. No, everybody don't have the right to speak. We've given everyone a chance to speak for the last 60 years in Black America, and where has that gotten us? No. People who, if you don't like your own mama, if your mama was a crackhead that did you wrong, no, you don't have a voice to speak in here. You have way bigger platforms that'll give you a microphone than mine. If you grew up in a degenerate environment and every black person around you is a hater and all black people are mean and wrong and mad and say something foul to you, you can get a microphone at Fox News. You can go talk to CNN. You can go link up with Kamal Bell. And sorry niggas like that don't like black people, they have way bigger platforms for niggas like you to speak on. My little small black platform with the 10,000 subs, thank y'all. This little small tiny black platform, we here to lend voice to black people with self-respect, black people who love their families, black people with cultural pride. That's who gets a microphone over here. You degenerates can fuck off. Us black people with our heads on straight, we had enough of you niggas. Every time we turn on the TV, we see you niggas. Every time we turn on the radio, turn on a TV commercial, we get some nigga that hate being black. Some nigga that think LGBTQ is bigger than being black. Some nigga that professionally kissing white asses is better than being black. I'm tired of you niggas. People in this chat room are tired of you niggas. As we head into 2022, we give love and respect, and we give a microphone to those with love and respect. If you have nothing but bad things to say about black women, you don't have a microphone here. About black men, nothing but negative. If every black person is a hater to you, this ain't the place for you to speak. Niggas like you are going to be very uncomfortable in this environment. This is an environment for people who value their own opinions, who speak from logic, not emotion. You emotional niggas. You niggas that every time you have something that you don't like someone else says, you get in your feelings and you're talking about, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Well, I don't give a fuck if you agree or not, nigga. That's my opinion. If you got your opinion, go create your own fucking YouTube channel and voice it over there. We don't have to agree. I don't believe in all of us getting along. I don't get along with cowards. If you the kind of black person that think that we ain't never gonna get reparations, if you the kind of black person that think that every time I say something about white society stealing from us, and you believe that we should just go ahead and just give it up and do something new. No, I don't speak coward. I speak in building and defending what we've built. And if you one of them niggas that don't have the courage to defend what we've built, the institutions that we've built, the art forms of music, the comedy, the style that we created, if you're the kind of person that don't want to defend it, and you think that white people are just so all powerful they're going to take it, and there's nothing that we can do about it, shut up and listen or leave. But don't talk. You don't have a voice over here. You can ask questions about how we can make things better. But if all you have is destruction and negative and bad this and bad that, you don't have a voice over here. We've had enough of you niggas. If you disagree with something I say, I have no issues with people who disagree. But come to me as a man and you disagree with the points made, not the person. No ad hominem arguments over here, bitch ass niggas. If I think the solution is A, B, and C, and you think the solution is D, G, and F, we can debate about that. We can talk about that. That's fine. We can have discourse and discussion. And through our discourse, through our discussion, we can find what will work. But if you come in talking to me about how you feel, let me tell you right now from the bottom of my heart, fuck your feelings. Okay? Fuck your feelings. DwannBrown don't talk feelings, especially with men. I have a company where I do communication breakdowns. And when I'm paid, I'm on the clock to work with people's communication and I'm counseling, that's where I talk feelings. I talk feelings in my counseling sessions, in my coaching sessions. That's where we talk feelings. But if we talking about a particular subject or a point of view or an opinion, I don't give a fuck about your feeling, nigga. Let me say that right now. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. And you should not expect other adults to give a fuck, F-U-C-K, about your feelings. Fuck you and your feelings, okay? We talk information. We disagree over information. What's up, Jayla Baxter? Somebody else I appreciate from the bottom of my heart. People like Jayla. She didn't cry and become a victim of her circumstance. Jayla got her ass out there and did something about her circumstances. When the Compton PD did what they did to that woman. When life did what they did to that woman. She said, fuck that. I'm going to do something about it. And I'm going to help other women so they ain't got to go through what the fuck I went through. I appreciate you, Jayla. Get some of Jayla's candles. Jayla tells me never to advertise her company. She does it for the love. I don't listen to you, Jayla. I'm advertising your company for free. Thank you, Star, for putting the interview I had with Jayla up. Go listen to that interview I did with Jayla. And then buy some of her products. Jayla get mad when I talk about her products. So, you're going to have to be mad, woman. You're going to have to just be mad at me. I'm promoting your business. You just going to have to be mad at me. Because I love what you do. And I appreciate what you do. We here to love on those who do right by us and send a fuck you out to those who use us to do wrong by us. Let me say this one thing before I close out. I want to be very clear. Everybody ain't got to be militant. Everybody ain't got to be Ice Cube. Everybody ain't got to speak up for me. We don't need a bunch of DeWans. We don't need a bunch of Malcolm X's. We don't need a bunch of Ice Cubes. We just need those who are going to speak about black people to be the Ice Cubes, to be the Malcolms, to be the Professor Black Truths, the Tariqs of this world, the Professor James Smalls, Brother Kaba Kamene, John Henry Clark. If you're going to speak on us, then yeah, we need you to channel them. Your own version of that. But you don't have to be political. There are people out there who are apolitical. Look, I just want to make my money and go home. That's the majority. Salute to you, brothers, too, and sisters. If you just want to make your money and go home, that's fine, too. I have no issues with that, brothers, sisters. Everybody can't be political. I get it. It's just that when the issues of race come up, don't help out that side. Just shut up. Don't let them use you. Just shut up. It ain't nothing wrong with just shutting up. Nothing wrong with that. The only issue is when you do speak up, do you say things to strengthen white supremacy? Or do you say things to strengthen black empowerment? And if when you speak up, your words only strengthen white supremacy, then you ain't a friend of us. Same with you immigrant brothers and sisters that come around and want to say shady shit to black Americans. What's the first thing they say? Well, black people do it to each other. Look at here. When family is fighting, family fight. But can't nobody from outside your family come and join that fight. When your cousins fight, brothers fight, family fights. Yes, we do. We ain't perfect. We gonna continue to fight. But if you ain't from this FBA family, you ain't got shit to say. We'll stop fighting each other to beat your ass. And then go back to fighting each other. That's how family operates. Have respect. If your family from the Caribbean is in a Caribbean fight, I ain't got nothing to say to that. Just that when you niggas are done fighting, let's get back to building. I'm not going to join in and fuel the fire to your fight. I know Cubans and Dominicans don't get along. I know Puerto Ricans don't fuck with Mexicans like that. But I'm not going to jump in that fight. That's y'all fight. I'm not going to jump in and be like, and disrespect y'all and cause further confusion within your fight. Y'all got to handle that. Same with us. Black people ain't perfect. We never going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Perfect isn't the goal. Power's the goal. Regain our power. Own our power. Own our shit. That's the goal. Thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I want y'all to always know that there are no perfect messengers. Ice Cube ain't perfect. Malcolm X wasn't perfect. Marcus Garvey wasn't perfect. King wasn't perfect. Dr. Claude Anderson isn't perfect. Brothers like Tariq, Professor Black Truth, they ain't perfect. Scheherazade Ali, she's not perfect. Dr. Clyde Winters, Dr. David Imhotep, Neely Fuller, these people ain't perfect. Yeah, Eric, I am perfectly round. And I fit these perfectly round balls in your mama's perfectly round jaws, nigga. Ain't nobody perfect. But we do have perfect messages. And what's a perfect message? A perfect message is a message that applies to you, that you can apply to your life and live. That's the perfect message. Cube gave us the perfect message, for me at least. So for my life, for my art, I've embodied Ice Cube's message throughout my career as a public figure. Don't be afraid to step up and stand out and speak out. Matter of fact, when you step up, stand out, and speak out, do it boldly. Do it with pride. Marry you a black woman. And marry you a smart black woman that got your back 10 toes down. Build and create. That's the message that I got from Ice Cube, from Dick Gregory, from Malcolm X, from Stokely Carmichael, Marcus Garvey, and that's the message that I embody. And I try my best to live. Shouts out to the Craig Factors. Shouts out to 5150. Shouts out to everyone out there. Neely Fuller, yes. And I'm not even mentioning everybody. Chancellor Williams, I saluted him out on his birthday a couple days ago. Shouts out to Nas for dropping Chancellor Williams' book in the song dedication on his last album, The Destruction of Black Civilization. Read that. Shouts out to Jaren 215, Lori Brown, Ivor, Tasha Ray, everybody in the chat room, Josh Hawkins, Vaughn Crenshaw. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Star, I can't get everybody's name, but shouts out to all y'all. And download Mixcloud. I did a breakdown of James Brown and soul music on my Mixcloud account. I'll be doing some more Mixcloud shows this week, breaking down some music. Thank you, Erica Yates, True Seeker, Herb Saint. I appreciate y'all. Kenneth Berry, Bug Shelton. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. My name is DwannB. Get the t-shirts. Oh yeah, I gotta sell my t-shirts. Get the t-shirts. Hotepish.com/apparel. Get them right now. Get them right now. No, not apparel /shop. I gotta change that. Hotepish.com/shop. /shop. Get the t-shirts right now. And for those who want to book me on a family communication session, if you have a child with special needs and has an IEP and you need a consultation on how to conduct your next IEP meeting, go to breakthroughas.org and book me now. Or on hotepish.com. I have a book now button. Book me. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good life. Y'all have a good rest of the year. And I'll see you guys again. I'm out.